The sacked Catalonian President Carles Puigdemont has indicated he'll fight moves to extradite him to Spain to face charges of rebellion and sedition. Mr Puigdemont is now in custody in Belgium, where a judge is due to decide whether to grant Spanish authorities an extradition request or allow him to remain in exile. The move comes as political leaders in Catalonia announced that they want Mr Puigdemont and his former ministers freed to stand for new elections announced for December. Anne Barker reports.
A week after he fled to Brussels, the former Catalan president, Carles Puigdemont, has turned himself in to Belgian police. Puigdemont and 4 of his former ministers face possible extradition to Spain, where they're wanted on charges of treason and sedition.
This morning, the 5 persons that have been sought by the Spanish authorities presented themselves at the Federal Police of Brussels.
A spokesman for Belgian prosecutors, Gilles Degemep, says a Brussels judge will decide the men's fate later today.
In the presence of their lawyers, they were officially notified of the European arrest warrants. In compliance with the Belgian procedure, the Brussels prosecutor's office will seize an investigative judge in order to execute the European arrest warrants.
Puigdemont and his colleagues have so far avoided the fate of 8 other former Catalan ministers who were arrested and detained in Madrid last week for their actions in declaring independence for Catalonia, a move the Spanish government says was illegal. If extradition proceedings succeed, they too could find themselves in custody by the end of the month, though his lawyer says they'll fight to stay in Belgium. Protests against the arrests and detention have now spread from Catalonia to Madrid and other cities in Spain. Catalans and all Spaniards have the right to decide what they want, says one man, José Miguel. Whether they want independence or to continue with Spain, that's why we came here, and most of all to support the political prisoners for their ideas. This preventative jailing is disproportionate. They simply should not be denied their freedom, says another man. The legal proceedings threaten to thwart efforts to return Catalonia to a functioning democracy. The Spanish government has called fresh elections for December the 21st, and 2 polls at the weekend suggest pro-independence parties still have the numbers to win. Catalonia's Democratic Party is still hoping Mr Puigdemont will be their candidate at the poll. Our proposal is that those in jail, members of the government sacked by Article 155, could be on our list, says party spokeswoman Marta Pascal. We want President Puigdemont to lead this great participation that we expect on December the 21st. He's the one. Just as likely, though, is that Puigdemont and his colleagues will still be in custody. And one Spanish judge, Rodriguez Vega, says the charges against them are among the most serious, though it's anyone's guess whether they'll be convicted.
The system could be slow, but not unfair sometimes. But in general, our judges are radical independents. They are very, very independent.
If convicted of rebellion, sedition and the misuse of public funds, the former Catalan president and his sacked colleagues could face decades in jail.
Anne Barker reporting.